So tell me about your history of running then. So how did you sort of get into, well, first of all, you were a runner first of all, I take it.
Uh, Kind of yes and no. I've always loved running. I remember being a small child, sprinting and running, and just absolutely loving it. But by chance, and I'd say it was by chance more than choice, although I loved it, I ended up playing football. So I went from an athletics club into a football club from a young age, and then continued with football. So I dropped the athletics and the running. And I don't regret that. I loved football. But and then in my earlier mid 20s, I was an amateur boxer. But more during when I was boxing, I was getting tired of getting beaten up for starters. But the more I boxed, the more I felt a real overwhelming and desire and the kind of intuition really that I really wanted to run a long way. And it was a long way. It wasn't that I wanted to run. I felt like I really wanted to run a long way, which is kind of weird because if you're not a runner, you'd think that you would start out with, I want to just run. But straight away for me, I was getting these sensations and feelings that, I really want to go at this. But I knew nothing. I didn't know ultra running existed. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know other people felt that way. It's just something that was in me. So in my late 20s, I kind of hung the gloves up, so to speak, and then I started running. 2010, I did my first 50 miler. I was a bit of a mess. It didn't go how I wanted it to go, but I finished.
A shock
And
to the
then
system.
yeah, well, definitely, yeah, and all the schoolboy errors everyone can make, I made, running too fast in the first marathon and all the rest of it. So, but the very next year, 2011, I'm quite proud to be a part of this history. Actually, I ran in the very first Centurion event, running events. Which was the North Downs Way 100, which actually was an out and back the year I did it. I don't think it's ever done that again. So it went 50 miles out and back. And what Centurion Running have gone on to achieve is just magnificent. And James Elson, the race director there, is a real role model for me. And he's just done wonderful things. So to be on their first ever event, which is an absolute empire now, it feels really nice. But, I'm not going to give a chronological order of everything I've done. It'd be very dull for anyone listening. But the notable things that I've then gone and done since that first 100 miler is a big step up for me in 2013. I did the Sir Alfred Wainwright's Coast to Coast from St. Bees to Robin Hood's Bay, so about 192 miles. It took me about 55 hours with the support of others. It was kind of a solo supported effort. And something clicked in my head with that, not only the idea and the training for it, and then the accomplishment of it, something changed within me to know that I could cover those distances and do it respectively well as well. I was pretty chuffed with 55 hours. So it took me a few years. I did other bigger ultras, a couple of 160 milers, but then in 2017, after some health setbacks, I came back and I did the Long Last Ultra, which was going from Holyhead in the north of Wales to Cardiff Bay in the south,
Right.
basically running north to south straight down Wales. It was just over 250 miles and very limited support. You weren't allowed crew. You got given water every 25 miles and your drop bag was every 50 miles. So kind of really got to be self-sufficient. And that's what drew me to the event. I managed to finish that in just under 78 hours. And then the year after that, so I'd run across England, I'd run across Wales. In 2018, I was lucky enough to run across Scotland in the race across Scotland. That was 215 miles.
Wow.
And on that, you was allowed crew. And I got my sister along to crew for me. And I've got to say, it was a luxury to run across Scotland having a crew because you can nap when you want. You can pretty much get food when you want. There's a lot of stress off your mind just running to your crew member. And being able to get the naps in the car saved me. And I very much enjoyed running that Southern Upland Way